Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry, no audio since how many minutes? I mean, 10 minutes? Maliha, since what time? 10 minutes. Oh my goodness. All right, I'll repeat. My bad. Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry about that. Last 10 minutes, I was talking about, technologies which students utilized in. So, what was the last topic you heard? Can someone make a point? Have you heard? I mentioned about utilizing Google Analytics back in 2010. Okay, okay, fine. Uh, I'm sorry about that. It's my fault. Sorry about that. Okay, let me repeat. Okay, I cannot rewind. I would have recorded, then I would have played again. Anyways, uh, okay. So what I was mentioning, it is important for you guys to explore more. These are the technologies which I found from roll number 91 onward in their assignments. Many students utilized in lab one. Okay. Um, so I was telling you that Google Analytics, don't confuse that term with big data analytics. Very before in 2010, at the federal government, U.S. federal government website, our job was to find out how many how many hits we are getting from different continents of the world for the given website. So we enabled something called Google Analytics at the time. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, the complete keyword, but it was a geographical, a location. You enable that in your website, and then it will give you a very much like a report. The way the form give you report, right? Live report. You will see that kind of report which will tell you how many people are there, how many hits you are getting from different continents of the world on a different timeline. Okay, so that was one kind of initial analytics what we used to do in 2010 for a federal government website, right? So Google Analytics, I think that was the name of that feature by Google. So don't confuse that Google Analytics with real recent time data analytics. Okay, and we also used something called Google Visualization APIs and Google Charts, right? There used to be motion charts also, right? So we use those, for presentation, and they are very, sophisticated charts, which will be very interactive also, right? Not only just simple pie chart and bar chart. So those all things we explored, and that was year 2010. In recent time, some of you yourself have explored this Google Data Studio. So I would advise you that all of you please explore this particular tool called Google Data Studio. Okay. Why am I telling this? Why am I taking up this? Because these are the latest happening. Okay, so you should be aware of this. If your manager expects some solution from you for certain stuff, if all these things you might have explored, then you may be able to give solution to him that okay, I can do this job using this particular tool, and then he might based on his availability of time, he will ask you to prototype or demonstrate something. Anyways, so please explore Google Data Studio, right? Then there are something called Google Rich Card and Google uh, Knowledge Graph. So those who answered this in their assignment one, I have appreciated their work, right? So when we search for a certain company or certain people, right, on the right hand side in the Google results, we are seeing some common information, very much like Wikipedia information. But there, I think they are, they have to do with this Google Rich Card and Google Knowledge Graph. So please find out and read more about these technological terms, Google Rich Card and Google Knowledge Graph. Okay. Uh, Fine. So uh, they are actually, kind of data structures, we can say, right? But then they have a purpose. And more data structure and more algorithms we know will have stronger base for not only analytics, but in general also. Okay. So some of them have used this content addressable storage, CAS. Okay. It's very much like you store, but you also be specific about content, right? Content addressable storage, CAS. Then there is something, third-party tool called Navigate. It's not Navigate, it's Navigate, right? Then few used Windows PowerShell. I was not aware of why it is called PowerShell, right? Anybody has any idea why it is called PowerShell? Windows PowerShell. Any idea why is it called PowerShell? Okay. Okay. So Nemis has to say there are rich set of algorithms. Okay. I have not explored the Windows PowerShell part. So I would, those actually who are, with Windows technologies, I would expect that you may, explore this part, Windows PowerShell, right? SQL Server Migration Assistant, many of you used it, so that is fine, right? Then Mongo import, we are going to actually learn this Mongo import as one of the tools. It's a simple command which let you, import, and that's there in your textbook also. I don't know how many of you have purchased textbook, but it's described, the Mongo import. That will be, this week onward, next week, I mean, Monday onward, we'll be taking up MongoDB. First 8 lectures, sessional one kind of lecture being completed, right? So now we'll move on to the further topics. Anyways, some of you use Python Panda library to convert Excel to CSV. Some of you use CSV Kit. Some of you use Sequelizer. Now, this is a little interesting concept here. Sequelizer is a website, of course, and a solution. So you will give the problem, I'm sorry, you will give files and it will convert into databases. You can choose the database, type also, and that will do job for you. So to use it is one thing. I mean, is being a third, being an end user, using it is okay. I mean, for a particular smaller need, you may do that, but then the concept is good. That's why I chose to discuss with you. What does Sequelizer do? You give it files, maybe raw files, and it generates database out of it. Anyways, you again explore it. I have not explored it. It's my first time getting, into Sequelizer. Now, few of you used XML E3 elementary library, right? Then somebody used DMA, Data Migration Assistant. Microsoft Power BI, those who are with Microsoft, they can notice this. Some of you have already used Microsoft Power BI, okay? And BI, of course, stands for Business Intelligence, right? Cygwin is from years, right? On Windows, when there was nothing, we could again even do, Linux-like commands. And I think I used it first time in year 2000 or so, Cygwin, right? It's very old, but it's still there, Cygwin, okay? Data Pine, I mean, you may Google for it, Data Pine, right? Mostly it gives you data sets and a way to, analyze. Then there is something called datatables.net. Then there is something called Studio 3T migration tool, right? Then PHP JSON, actually J might have been, PHP JSON underscore encore, JSON stringify. And I learned this one more file extension, which I never heard about, called BACPAC dot backpack. We know backpack, right? I mean backpack, right? Oh my goodness, backpack, right? We know when you go to school or college, you carry your backpack, right? But this is BACPAC is something new for me. So you may explore what is BACPAC file for Windows with respect to Windows. Okay. Uh, Anyways, these were a few combined observation of mine from lab 1, and I will continue sharing, lab 2, lab 3, all the observations whichever I would have. The reason being, the aim is to learn, okay? Whether it is your efforts or my efforts, right? We have to grow day by day. Fine? Already. So with that, for today's lab, actually, honestly, unless you will be able to do, the word count program, and then solutions to some other custom problem, like maybe finding mutual friends, or uh, whatever ma'am described for finding that gender-based aggregation, or categorizing books. Four problems we have talked about, right? Minimum. Uh, Unless you will dive into yourself, I won't be able to help you, right? Further, I can definitely give you more problem statements, where you can have one more problem statement of analyzing, what do I say, analyzing the temperature, or the weather data. I mean, analyzing the weather data. So I can think of sharing some links with you from where you can download data. Let me check if I can, collect them all. So you may download certain data sets, and then from there you will be able to do more like MapReduce programming. Now, how good your computer or how good your infrastructure is, based on that, you will have to either deal with, thousand records, or, more, I mean, MBs, or GB, based on your current configuration. You will have to, deal with those data sets. So I would advise you to always start with, kind of little minimum, so that when you do, development, testing, etc., it should not be, like wasting your time for long, right? Because even a small mistake, then it will take, let's say, whatever, 10 minutes or 20 minutes again to run and come back. So initially, you always do some kind of, limited set of records, and then, complete your development as well as testing a bit. Then you may run the same for a larger data set. One more problem statement was about a priori. Yeah, that is one more thing about this custom problem at hand. You can definitely think of solving a priori algorithm with MapReduce, and that can definitely go for your resume, because many people know a priori algorithm, and if you are able to solve it using MapReduce, and of course your own uh, way, right? And if you know how, and if you can explain to the interviewer, he will have more trust in you that yes, you know MapReduce framework too, right? So I have mentioned around 5, 6, 7 statements, or aim, right, which you can definitely start working on, and many of them have been discussed at least with you, right? How to get it done. One more thing, the word count version 2. So for lab 4, I would expect you to have word count version 2 also explored. So those who have already done, around 70, 80 students who have already done word count version 1, I would advise you to now, compare first theoretically version 1 and version 2 program. Now, where will you find version 1 and version 2 program? Is there on Apache org itself. I mean, both the versions being given to you. Uh, Okay, so I will share the link in a while if you don't have that, right? But then know that the version is version 1 and version 2. The highlights we talked about, uh, very briefly we talked the other day, I know, but you can, start exploring that for this particular lab, which is lab 4. Okay, so at least for lab 4, we expect that you are able to do word count, and then version 1 and version 2 both. Version 2, primarily, maybe with the latest stable version, you will be able to achieve. Version 2, the highlights you should know. And one more uh, problem statement we were talking about the other day was shorting. So yes, we can now take up the shorting problem statement, and we can describe. Anybody has thought of a problem solution for shorting, TerraShort? Not necessarily TerraShort, but I mean, the logic about shorting using MapReduce. Anybody? So I can take that up. That is one of the agenda, uh, which is not yet done in detail. So we can take that up. Anybody thought of how to solve sorting using MapReduce? Any challenges you may think? No? let me ask first thing, if I want to really demonstrate TerraShort, will I be able to do that? The other day, I asked that, somebody said, yes, do it. And then I said, it's not possible. What I mean, it's not possible with the 1 terabyte of data set, and it's not possible with the same minutes, like 3.5 or whatever, 3.4 minutes or so approximately. It's not possible that way, because for that I will need a cluster of around whatever number of computers, or I will need that computing and storage capacity both. But is it that I cannot run at all? Then the answer is no, I can, right? I can run. And of course, if I want to run, what will I have to do? I'll have to vary the parameters. The parameter mean to say, I may either have a lesser number of records, and then I'll try to short. It will not be termed as a TerraShort because I'm not handling terabyte of data, but then it is still short with MapReduce, right? So the program which is being already shared about TerraShort, the same program we can definitely utilize for lesser number of records also. So the program which is called TerraGen, which generates a terabyte of data, actually it allows you to choose to generate only 1,000 K or likewise. I mean lesser number of data also. You have to kind of change one of the defined parameter. For example, when you say define max 100, you have the array of 100, right? Instead of that, if you do define max 500, you will have array of 500. So such, one or two parameters are there which you change, and you will be able to do for a lesser number of size also, right? If you already have data set, you don't need to do TerraGen. You can directly go on to shorting technique, right? Now, so there are three steps. One is to generate the data set, because one terabyte of data might not be available. And if that they might be available, they might have their own characteristic. So here in this TerraShort, they actually wanted to make sure that the data is really random in nature. Okay, and that's why they didn't choose any existing data set. Instead of that, they used an algorithm to generate random data, and then place also randomly on a particular partitions, etc. And they can at least have that mathematical model, so that the TerraGen will generate 1 terabyte of data which are very near to random nature. Okay, very near to random nature. Okay, that's why they also kind of have a generation as one of the steps for the data set. Otherwise, of course, 1 terabyte is real life possible, but then they didn't choose any real life or real world data set. No. Then of course they did shorting, and then finally wherever the output was stored. Now one more thing here, when you talk about shorting, if somebody asks you to do shorting, one more thing you should ask immediately is, do you want to short the existing data set, or do you want me to generate another result as a separate data set? I mean, or you can ask the other way also, is it okay if I change the original data set, or do you want to have, have the original data sets intact, right? Intact. So this particular MapReduce framework, what do you think? Will you be able to solve, will you be able to short the existing data set smoothly? Answers, please. I repeat, in TerraShort, I repeat, type it again. In TerraShort, do you think updating the existing data set will make sense with respect to distributed file system terminology, with respect to MapReduce, etc.? And if no, why? So nobody is answering. I think I should clear the question again. In TerraShort, is it the in-place sort or not? And we know what is in-place sort from your third semester. TerraShort, big data Hadoop computation, is it in place or not? So no answers means what? Fine. I'll have to ask randomly then. Are you there or not? I don't know, right? So Raj Panchal, are you there? Oops. Raj is not there. Raj, yes, thank you. So my question here is, if you have heard about in the previous class also, we talked about TeraShort, where 1 TB of data Hadoop framework will short. So the question here is, will it be in place? I mean, in the same memory where the original data is, that will be changed, or that will be, a separate memory where the result will be stored. What is your guess if you don't know? Yes, Raj, please type in something. I think there will be changed. So I think you have to improvise your statement, English statement. It didn't convey the meaning. Original place will be changed. Now it's okay. I mean, okay. So no, fine. So understand that terminology. Remember, write once, read many. Kind of, the framework MapReduce and this distributed storage is primarily about, write once, read many, kind of thing. So it is not advised that you will, overwrite the original data. And anyway, you will need intermediate storage also, because this sorting technique, for 1 TB is gonna be right high, right, separate memory allocation, Jainik, yes. So basically it's very much like word count input file and output files. Okay, so I it's been a while I worked on TeraShort also, so I will have to recheck that. But yeah, I'm expecting that it will again have the input 1 TB of data and output 1 TB of data, which are separately stored. Okay, fine. Fine. So that's first thing you'll have to find out, the existing TeraShort, how is it doing? Is it doing in place or not? That is one, problem statement what you have to find out from the TeraShort solution. Next thing, let's assume it is doing in a separate location. That is what we expect. Input and output are two separate locations. Fine. Anyways, anybody could think of what will be the key value pairs, input to mapper, I mean, output from mapper, and then input to reducer, and then output from reducer. Could you think of any algorithm, the way we, in word count, we do the word comma one as one of the pair, then it will be all bucketed, I mean, hashed, right, into different buckets. That is my terminology of saying it, and then reducer will be combining, some of those 1111 for a unique word, and that is the word count what we know. Any idea how sorting will you be able to get? Anybody try to solve this on piece of paper or some other way? Okay, I mean, it's okay. I mean, you are busy back to back. Uh, so one more thing, are there any sorting kind of phases involved in MapReduce framework? And Maliha says something before I get other answers. Maliha says key could be length of a list and value could be the list. Key could be length of a list. Okay, value could be the list itself. Okay. So list here mean to say number of records which are not the complete 1 TB, but whichever subsets, right? So you are thinking that key can be the length of the list. Let's say I have a subset chosen of 10 elements, and then I would say 10 as a key, and then a value could be the list where those 10 elements will be there. And so Maliha, that will be, I mean, output of map as you expect. Output of map, you expect that key, the length, and the list with certain values. So what will happen if you do this? Different mappers will generate, but then this also needs to, okay, so let's say different mappers generates multiple key value pairs, and all those multiple will be having, let's say 10 comma the list of 10 elements, then somewhere else also 10 comma list of 10 elements, likewise so many, then some other key and value pairs, maybe let's say 15 comma list of 15 elements, again 15 comma list of 15 elements, and likewise. So that way we may have many buckets with various length and with appropriate elements of those many length, I mean those many elements. And how will that help? What will reducer do? I mean, our aim is to sort the original data. So how will that help? I mean, any idea? Merge this list. So fine. So if reducer, okay, if reducer merges all this list, at least one thing you have to be sure of, that not only the length uh, and the list, but should map produce a length and a sorted list itself, or what was your original? So you said map will generate a key, which is a length and a list. Will that list be sorted? So she says yes. So if so, fine. So let's imagine again that you have key value pairs, a lot of key value pairs, which are the output of map, and they can be length and the sorted list, and they all will be grouped together, in different buckets, and the mappers will combine them. And when you combine in mapper, will it be a blind combine or some logical combine? So she says, like we do in merge sort, so that has to be some logical combine, not only blind combine. Now again, you might have heard about two-way merge sort, right? The very simple algorithm what you normally do in merge is a two-way merge sort. But you know that there is something called n-way merge sort also, right? I believe. How many of you know n-way merge sort? What was n-way merge sort? I mean, is it the n lists or within two lists, something like n? Because what Maliha is suggesting in that regard, if we move forward, we will actually have n sub list for bucket 1, then another n or certain number of sub list for bucket 2. So, and they are sorted internally, and when reducer try to combine them, they are not two sub lists, they are many sub lists, right? Okay, so what will happen? I mean, the reducer will get the bucket, and it knows the length is fixed. All the sublists are of same length. Okay, now in normal merge sort, if both the sublists are not of same length, then also it can work. Anyways, maybe knowing the length or having the common length will avoid some extra steps, as you might have thought of. Okay, but then I mean, fine. I mean, what else? Anything else? Will it really generate the overall sorted list, or the output of reducer will be some sorted output followed by output of another reducer, some another sorted output, then output of another reducer, the third reducer, for example, will be output sorted. So let's say 10-10 list was there, the sorting output is there. So will that be overall sorted? I mean, what do you think, Maliha? Will that be overall sorted, or do you still need some kind of better logic? Or anyways, good, you at least thought something. So this is actually a challenge in a way, to be able to get to a solution, but I cannot keep it open for weeks. I cannot keep the problem statement open for weeks. So either I can describe the solution, or I can leave it up to you to explore. I don't know what to do. But let's read from Ria what she has to say. Ria has to say first alpha and then word, and from map maybe something like that. Anyways, know that these are numbers we are sorting, but of course the challenge can be extended to string sorting also. But right now is terabyte, all of them. I mean, 1 terabytes of data, all of them were numbers only. So 1 terabyte of numbers in a way. Okay, 1 tera, not byte, I should say 1 TB of numbers. I mean 100,000. What is 1 TB? Whatever number of thousands records. Okay. Uh, but yeah, Ria, so we can definitely think in some regard. Uh, so shall I discuss the solution, or shall I throw little bit of solution? or some hint? Choice is yours. I mean, some hint will help. Okay, fine. So know that what happens here, even though you try to do certain logic, and it's not like you cannot come up with new logic. I mean, it's always possible. Uh, and if it is proven, you can, create a research paper out of it also. If it, if your logic work. That's why I don't want to, stop thinking. No, keep on thinking, and try exploring if you can do on your own. But the logic which they people used for sorting terabytes using MapReduce, now there actually they realized that we somehow need the final output shorted, right? And no matter what we do, if reducers, will have to work on certain buckets or certain, information, multiple reduce. Okay, one more thing. When I say multiple reducer, it's not like multiple reducer function different logic. No, is the function is the same reducer, single logic itself, but that function might be called multiple times. So when I say multiple reducer, we are still having the same body, function body of a single reducer, that is only one, but it is called multiple times. So that's when we say multiple reducers. Okay. Another approach can be, a different thing where you'll have chain of MRs. I mean, one MR, then output will be again going to another MR as input. So there were also sometimes, multiple reducers word is used. But when we say multiple reducer in our context right now, is the same single function body, but it is executed many times, maybe on many machines. Okay, that's what we mean by multiple reducers. Anyways, so the logic is same single function that is reducing, but then they realize that we may not be able to achieve, the reducer. If reducer generates the results, it might be internally sorted, but then overall sorting was not straightforward. Uh, okay, and I mean, you can still find, ways out. Uh, think of it. For example, how about creating those many buckets and put all the common, duplicates. I mean, because in 1 TB of numbers, there'll be, so many duplicates, right? Because and what was the I mean, infinite numbers. What was the uh, the capacity or range of number? I'm not certain. For example, when I say number, at least for mathematician, number is infinite. I mean, having infinite digits, right? But for when I say number with respect to a computer programmer, we have to think of the storage, right? If we say integer, then we know that it is from 6536 to, I mean, two bytes or 4 bytes. Based on that, I will have a range. So I'm not certain the terabyte, the terasort competition, when they say number, what do they mean? I mean, we cannot just have infinite number of digits for a single number and then consider it as a, a number. I mean, that's not possible. So I'm not aware of the upper limit of the number of digits for a single number. I'm not aware of that limit, what they have fixed. They must have fixed it. Otherwise, there is no way out, right? So one way you may, think of putting all those common numbers, I mean duplicates, into single buckets, right? Uh, but then the possibility might be there may be so many buckets, right? Because I mean, however number of numbers are there, those many buckets are there, and all those buckets will have to be given to reducers. So those many number of reducer instances will have to be run. So that means I mean, lot of instances. I mean, that is again not making sense. If we just take care of duplicates together and then try to order them one after another, back to back, it again, you can think, but it might not have made sense to them. So what they tried was something called total ordering. Total ordering. From your district maths, you might have heard about partial ordering, total ordering, uh, likewise, right? If there is related data, and you can have less than equal to or kind of relationship, then you mostly think of total ordering. If there is a relationship, if there is no relationship possible, you think of partial, etc.
That's just the theory about partial and total. But they thought of something like total ordering. Now I'm giving you this idea what they did because they could control partitioning. Okay, because MapReduce framework let you do control the partitioning mechanism. So one partitioning mechanism, the default is hash partitioning, and that's what we keep talking about in word count. However, it works. Okay, so instead of hash partitioning, they actually picked or maybe implemented for a reason something called total partitioning, total order partitioning. So what they did was uh, it's actually a little complex, but then how they did it is they made sure that the data generated by map, they will be total ordered completely, and the reducer 1 will be given the partition 1, which will actually have smaller data set than partition 2. So let's say the last element of partition 1 is, for example, 91. I repeat, for example, last element of partition 1 is, for example, 91. Okay. And the partition 1 is internally shorted the way Maliha suggested. For example, it is shorted. Partition 1 is shorted internally. But then the last element of it is 91. So all others are, for example, greater, smaller elements. So last is 91. So in partition 2, they will make sure that whichever elements are coming up, they'll be greater than 91. And that way, they'll make sure that all the partitions which are being generated, they themselves are following this, simple logic of total ordering. Now, imagine you have 100 partitions created, and in all 100 partitions, however number of data. So for terabyte, let me clarify, the size of data block itself was 1 GB. Okay, though we have 128 MB of data block right now. For that particular competition, they have mentioned the data block size was 1 GB. They have, because they needed to take care of a lot of data. So the block size itself was 1 GB, and number of blocks they might consider it as one partition or maybe one, but that partition itself will have data, so that partition 1, when they say partition ID 1, it will have data all smaller than any data which is there in partition 2. And again, partition 2 will have any number of records which are actually greater than the partition 1 records, but smaller than the partition 3 records. And that way, let's say partition 3 records will be somehow will be greater than the partition 2 records, and they will be smaller than the partition 4 records. And I repeat, lastly, partition 4 will have records which are greater than partition 3 records, but smaller than partition 5 records. And likewise, the partitioning itself was focused with a logic. Neither map nor reducer. I mean, not reducer, but partition is the phase of map itself, not the map function, but the mapper and reducer. This high level two terminology. The mapper has multiple phases, right? If you remember, there were map itself is one phase, but then there are other phases of something called partitioning also. So they actually took care of this partitioning phase, and the map function will do certain logic of considering only single block or a logical block, which is called split, for example. It will short that split maybe, right? Or it may not short even, but importantly, it has to make sure that when it comes to partitioning, the partitions are created such a way that the mappers you will actually see the code also, but you first understand the high level idea that the output of map phase is what? The output of map phase is nothing but set of partitions which will have this way ordering of data. What will be key and value? Key will be still the offset, and value will be the number itself. And the key is nowhere important. Okay, now the important is the partition itself. where in which partition what data have been kept. That is important. And these partitions are actually nothing but like buckets. Okay, so these partitions will be then given to reducers. Okay, so first thing first, to create partitions where focused, and as I mentioned, each and every partitions will certain partition IDs, and then the data will be kept in the partition such a way that it will be only in a order, which is, let's say, ascending order if we talk about right now. Okay, so now if you imagine you have these partitions ready with data in such a way that this ordering, like total ordering, is applied. Now the reducer will not have to do anything. Actually, you just have to make sure that reducer 1 gets the partition 1, then reducer 2 gets the partition 2, and if reducer 1 has to just write whatever was there in partition 1 to the output. Now imagine you are having this partition 1 to partition 1000, and each of them having the data as per the total ordering logic what we just described. And the reducers are also, reducer 1 will be given only partition 1, and once he flushes the output in the output file, then only reducer 2 will start. Okay, and then he will flush the output on the output, and that will be appended basically, right? So in that way, if you imagine what is happening, the global data set which is being generated, it itself is shorted. Okay, so this is the overall idea how the TerraShort with respect to MapReduce has been implemented. And yes, when you have to do this total ordering, there'll always be control. It's like not lot many parallelizations, like reducer won't be able to do parallel work. I believe you could observe that reducer could not do parallel work. No, right? Reducer's primary job was to just dump data from partitions to the output file, and if it will do parallelly, or if it will do in random order, then also the output will not be what we want. So it was imposed that reducers will come into picture one after another only, and they will be actually dumping output to ordering. I mean, output itself will be dumped in a particular order, the way we want it. The partitions to be given. Now, few parallelization might have been achieved. For example, let reducer 1 to 10 do their job and have some intermediate results. Then let reducer 11 to 20 do the job and have intermediate results. But keep track of all these intermediate results with certain labeling, so that all will go in the output only one after another. It's very much like mutual exclusions or ordering you impose, like locking mechanism, all those kind of some concepts I'm throwing. But this was the overall idea how the TerraShort worked. Now, if you would see the program, at least you will have to see some how they have used API, and importantly, you will have to realize this how they are confirming that the partitions are getting the data as per the total ordering, and how the reducers are given partitions with certain IDs only, one after another. And that's about it. I mean, that's how the TerraShort worked. So I could open the TerraShort from one of the file. Let me see if I have it ready. We can go through the code, and it's not like at one shot you will be able to completely understand that. Okay, TerraShort. So it will take a while for you to understand TerraShort program itself. Okay, but do I have that program here or not? So let me just share a screen. I mean, it was on, so fine. So see, this is just overview. Whatever I described is actually talking about it, right? So if you may try to go through this, let's try to go through this so that we understand something. The TerraGen generates output data that is byte for byte equivalent to C version, including the new lines and specific keys. It divides the desired number of rows by the desired number of tasks and assigns ranges of rows to each map. The map jumps the random number generator to, okay, TerraGen, I'm sorry, we don't want to talk about generator, we talk about short itself. It's a standard, somebody, I'll have to figure out how to get rid of this. Okay, TerraShort is a standard map and reduce short, except for a custom partitioner. See, that is what I'm mentioning. It is just because MapReduce itself has a sort phase, It is primarily the partition, which is very important here. Except for a custom partitioner that uses a shorted list of n-1 sampled keys that define the key range for each reduce. In particular, all keys such that sample I-1 will be less equal key and less than sample of I are sent to the reduce. So as I mentioned, the reduce number I will get the partition which will have the data set where the data set will vary from X to Z, which is where the previous partition will have the lesser values and the next partition will have the higher values. So that is what the custom partitioning, the logic is. This guarantees that the output of reduce I are all less than the output of reduce I plus 1. To speed up the partitioning, the partitioner builds a two-level trie. Now this is one more data structure. I'm not certain in third semester data structure trie was completely implemented by you or not, and we might have overlooked that particular data structure. How many of you remember trie as a data structure, right? So if not, please explore that part. So they have built a two-level trie. Trie is one of the data structure which was used to quickly index, okay, into the list of sample keys based on the first 2 bytes of the key. And Terrasort generates the sample keys by sampling the input before the job is submitted and writing the list of keys into HDFS. So see, it says writing the list of keys into HDFS, but it's not clarified whether it is a separate location or not, but I'm sure it is a separate location. The input and output format, which are used by all 3 applications.
Sir, are you presenting right now, sir?
I think so. I'm sorry
we
about
can't
that.
See your screen, sir.
Oh, I see. Actually, after noon, it's little difficult. I know for you also and for me also. But anyways, we have to live with it. So basically, presenting. I was just presenting a doc, which is nothing but the Terrasort information. So please pin the presentation window, and this is more like theoretical solution what I just described, that you will be actually focusing on partitioning. Okay, you'll be actually focusing on partitioning. So it clearly says that Terrasort is standard map reduce short except for a custom partitioner that uses a shorted list of n-1 sample keys, etc. And as I described, the partitioning is the key behind the shorting of terabyte of data with respect to MapReduce. I repeat, the partitioning, the custom partitioning was the key behind doing it. Now, I'm not stopping you to think in the directions where you can find your own solution also. That's when Maliha started, thinking something. That's when the other girl talked about, some way of generating keys and all. But then those who have solved it, they solved using this partitional logic. So when Pinkal ma'am might have taught you the phases of map, where partitioning was one of the phase, if you remember theoretically, right? And we would have overlooked that, right? But know that everything has a purpose. So ma'am is trying to cover certain topics, these or that way, and I'm also trying to cover certain topics, these or that way. Together, they are there for making some sense. Okay, so please make sure you keep focusing on each and every topics being covered, whatever point in time, no matter it is 5 p.m. or 9 or 10 a.m. At least keep trying. Okay, keep trying to learn more and more. And honestly, this Terrasort is still little complex. We'll be able to see the code and understand, but it will still not be that straightforward unless you really explore the theory what we have already described about partitioner or all the phases, etc. And it's not right time to work on Terrasort, but you can definitely start in that direction. So for lab 4 and 5, the right thing to do is work on word count. I stopped sharing the screen just now because we'll stop now. It's
about to be, Raksha Bandhan, like festival time, will stop now in a minute or two. So students, please, try your best, balance, work and life, uh, and importantly health. But I'm trying my best to give you new technologies and new depths, right? Uh, Hope for 1.5 hour, some or other way, we learned new topics, new things, right? I'll let you go now because I also need a break. Okay. Uh, Fine. So if you may have any questions, of course, you can email, right? We can, have a chain of email and discuss. If you are working on something, extraordinary, something different, uh, of course, post on the media, but do let me know also individually by the email so that we know that, so and so students are keeping so and so efforts. Uh, Fine. Already. Uh, And sorry about the glitches in between. It's really a Sunday, and uh, fine. Take rest now. Okay. I'll let you all go. You may discontinue now. Thank you.